Today's date is the 6th of... what month is it?
April.
Right. Oh, you're on your ball, guys. 6th of April 2022. Good morning to you. My name is Richie B. Welcome to Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM. And who is here with me today?
You don't know Bridge Nation, it's your boy Shellz.
Morning, Bridge Nation. It's the girl queen, JoJo.
Yeah, morning, Bridge Nation. DJ all days on the ones and twos.
All right, and we've got listeners here and all over the world. Let me ask you something, Shellz.
Yes, sir.
When you came to the gate this morning and you saw me ahead of you and your Rolls Royce had to park behind mine as we both waited to get through the gate,
Right.
and the security was not in sight, what came through your mind?
NyQuil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought of how am I going to scale this
that's what
this
you...
gate?
No, sir.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my clock and I'm like, hey, I don't have a lot of time.
No, you see...
Siki!
You see, if it was my vehicle in front of yours, then I mean, I fret. But from to say you, I know, so...
And guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? Me, I watch you to see if you can come out and scale it first. Those were some critical moments, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, man, them seconds are vital.
But we made it through because
Yes,
Siki
sir.
turned up in time.
Shellz would have run a techie on it, man.
Eh?
Shellz would have run a
Oh, you
techie
mean
on
him
it.
just run back when just replay when I'm the text story.
You know, Shellz would have pop out a device and just...
Well, we wake up in a land where, yes, we do have some issues with violence, but at least we're not having the gunshots and all the shelling going on in places like Ukraine right now, which are popping up on our screens. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to get you through the morning, and we're going to do it the best way we can. Good morning and welcome. This is Up and Go. You're on the Bridge, 99 FM. It's now time for What the Fact.
TF.
The last letter added to the alphabet was actually the letter J.
I can't believe it.
Now, this is getting almost confusing from the very start. But the story reads, you might think that the letter Z is the last letter added because it's the last letter of the alphabet. But that is incorrect. It's actually J. The alphabet that we know and love today wasn't created alphabetically. So, we are supposed to work with it and believe all of what they say?
Yeah. I mean...
You have some questions, I think.
No. Because look how far... Well, J, they're basically so early in the alphabet.
Yeah.
I tell me say the last one. I tell you say English don't make no sense, you know.
I tell you.
I don't know. Maybe tough to do something with Latin. I don't know. I'm trying to find
The
excuses.
letter J was the last letter that was added to the alphabet. That is a fact that we share, although with several question marks behind it. Time for update. Popular stores that are out there in the space that we will share with you the very latest that we have on them. And Jody is bubbling to a boil. She's ready to get it started. Let's go.
Morning, Bridge Nation. So the energy god himself, artist Elephant Man, immigration breach charges was dropped yesterday. So prosecutors have dropped immigration charges that were brought against dancehall veteran Elephant Man in 2020. On Tuesday, the dancehall DJ had all charges against him dropped after appearing at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Elephant Man was facing charges of making a false declaration of Jamaica's immigration authorities in 2020. So it's dropped, you know, and I'm happy for him. Same to have nothing more for worry about in that case.
Yes. Yes. We're glad, man.
Talk to Shellz.
We're glad for it. You see it.
I'm so happy for him, you know, that all charges
It is fair to say that he's now out of the patha.
you know.
No, sir.
I mean,
No, sir.
yeah. Eh?
No, sir. We get that.
No.
No, sir. I'm going to the USA every day.
Can we move on to the next update, please?
I hope he's in as good a mood as we are.
You should be.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
All
Look up
right,
there
so
that you got.
he beat the kiss.
I beat the case, so
That's right.
you know,
He was all over the news, though. You remember?
yes, I remember.
Because he was stopped at some supermarket and he was pointed out there.
Jeez.
They were on his trail in a big
They
way.
were on him.
And the energy god has prevailed in this one.
Give thanks.
Give thanks
He
a
lives to
lot.
fight another day.
That's
Yes.
right.
There will be something else for sure.
Well, we all know the energy that's been going around Shellz Jo winning the Reggae Grammy, the best reggae album. A lot of people are chastised and a bun out and a show a bag of fight. However, they're receiving support and praise from somebody who I know a lot of people respect, and that's none other than Chronixx himself. So yeah, reggae artist Chronixx has come out in support of Virginia reggae artist Shellz Jo Jo amid staunch criticism from Jamaicans after their recent Grammy win for Best Reggae Album. Many have shared that they don't accept the band's music as authentic reggae music, and conversation has continued as artists within the Jamaican reggae and the dancehall space share which side of the fence they sit on. Among those who have shown support for Shellz Jo Jo is Chronixx, who shared a lengthy post on his Instagram story where he said the band was great and even big up some of the members. He said, and I quote, "Shellz Jo been one of the best bands in America for years. Overall, one of the top reggae bands in the world for years. You shouldn't have to be a fan to show respect." Chronixx went on to say that Shellz Jo has supported his career before any of the local Jamaican music legends. "Don't mention me on some posts trying to discredit honorable people who doing what they love. Them man have been blessing us and sharing their platform with us for years, consistently. Bring enough away on the road before we got opportunities open for any of the native Jamaican music legends. What wrong with some men?" he questioned. So yeah, that's Chronixx. And that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
But that would be a natural reaction, though, if you have always supported me, I'm not going to go against you. I don't see where he could have any other response to it.
So what you're saying.
You know, this is Shellz Jo who obviously giving him first bus, so to speak, with touring. Cecile also made mention of them and saying that
a lot of people have not done their homework, though.
Right.
Truly.
Yeah.
Have made mention.
And they're quite unfamiliar with the group. And they're not realizing that this group has been out there doing good reggae music. Several albums down, several nominations prior, and are now just winning. Yeah. And he's not the only one. I mean,
no, that's
many. In fact, several. I'd say several reggae and dancehall artists.
Yeah. Right.
Audley was telling us yesterday about a conversation he heard with Bling Dog.
Yeah.
Delhi Ranks and others who were quite vocal, saying, "Hey, we have no problems with Shellz Jo's victory."
Right.
You know, so
no, but how you have sorry to cut you, but you can't. This is what I'm saying, and I love that this is being highlighted because how do you have a problem with somebody who is who is assisting you with your career? So what we need to look at now is as
in his instance,
in his Chronixx instances, he said before any legendary reggae artist or anybody give him a forward, somebody outside of Jamaica had to. So this is the conversation we need to have then. How are we going to start supporting our reggae artists?
What shocks me is that this group has been nominated before.
Yeah, they have been.
So you know, what's the surprise here?
Yeah. The surprise is it's not a surprise. We just feel like Jamaica. So I just feel like they believe that a Jamaican should have won. That's all it is, you know. If we get down to it,
and if they believe that, it means that they basically had disregarded the fact that the group had a nomination.
Yeah.
And because there was no issue, I heard no one complaining.
Because nobody knew them.
Yeah, but people must do their research.
I think that's it, you know. You ever have somebody like a silent competitor when the person win, you're like, but we never know who you are.
You have a chance. Once you're nominated and you're in the running, you have a chance. So I would have expected all of this noise to have been made from the time they were announced as a nominee.
I think one or two persons said something, but it wasn't a big deal. Yeah,
not in my hearing. But that's how it is. We still continue the discussion, I'm sure, and it will continue for a long time to come. Ed Sheeran has been in court for a while, though, and there was a verdict earlier this morning, just a few minutes ago, actually. And it has now turned out that Ed Sheeran has won a high court copyright battle for his 2017 hit Shape of You. The judge ruled early this morning that the singer-songwriter had not plagiarized the 2015 song Oh Why by Sammy Chokri. Sammy Chokri actually performs under the name Sammy Switch, and he had claimed that OI, the hook in Sheeran's track, was strikingly similar to Oh Why, the refrain in his track. And so he took him to court, And Sheeran said such baseless claims are way too common. But Chopri has been putting forward the argument that it's not just coincidence, and that he was making strong points that Ed Sheeran has been doing this over and over again, as he puts it. And he came out on the losing end nonetheless. And Ed Sheeran definitely is basking in the victory. No claims will be paid out, and he will be well on his way to scoring more hits.
It's now time for Proverb of the Day. Very short, but I think everybody will get it, and it's nothing for Shellz to think anything outside of the box.
Let me hear this.
So, Rainford, play it for me, please.
Goat don't make sheep.
One more time.
Goat don't make sheep.
Goat don't make sheep.
It sounds like a 9-night reference.
You know, at this point, may I give up our Shellz when it comes to the proverbs. Goat don't make sheep. And it's so funny because this sounds so Jamaican, but I got it from Trinidad as well.
Trini?
So, goat don't make sheep, meaning chip off the old block. Children behave like or have similar mannerisms to their parents.
Okay.
And I agree.
Okay.
I'm a little bit like my
All right.
mother. And
Well,
father.
except that sometimes the old block. I don't like that reference as a father.
Oh boy. Chip off the old block.
Chip off the old block.
But sometimes the old block, not in my instance,
Of course. Of course.
but sometimes the old block has to kind of query, when they see some behavioral patterns.
Like,
Yeah.
my child.
I really feel a picnic.
Yeah, my mother have said that. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Where she come from? I'm
Yeah.
like, you.
In my instance, though, and I will settle for the old block in this instance. There are times when people will look at me and look at my sons and will say, "Why a dead stamp are you?"
It's true.
And when I take a closer look, I really don't see it. I find that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess it takes an outsider to see.
Yeah,
stuff
this
like
is
that.
it. So I said, I'm good with it, but I'm just saying there are times when the way persons behave at times.
Yeah.
You maybe have that with your dad too.
Yeah, man. There's this thing where we're sitting down and relax and watching TV and we'll cross our legs. No, I'm not say cross our feet. I say
Okay.
cross our legs. That's on. Yeah,
Why, right?
No worries. We understand what you're saying.
yeah. But yeah, we have the similar mannerisms and thing. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
it's a good thing for me as a young youth. It's nice to be, likened to my father, because that's
Yeah.
my first hero. And I'm sure it's the same for your
Yeah,
son.
almost definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And for me, when my dad was around,
Yeah.
too, you know what I
See
mean? So
that?
for all of us, as a matter
Yeah,
of
man.
fact.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, that's a cool one. So we appreciate that. That
Yeah,
was,
man.
of course, our
Proverb
proverb
of the day.
and a little bit more by extension. We move now into pet peeves.
That's right. And if you're just joining us for the first time here on Up and Go, pet peeves are things that others do that you might find annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. And one of our listeners is going to share her pet peeve with us this morning.
My pet peeve, one of my pet peeve is I don't like people when people talk down to other people to make themselves feel better. Just try to business others so they can feel more important. That really work my nerves. So yeah, that is one of my pet peeve. Can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Talking down.
Yeah,
Talking
man.
down.
That's
To make
yeah.
themselves look good.
To make themselves look good. That
Okay.
I've seen, I think
Yeah.
I've been around a long time, know nothing
Wow.
about it.
Okay.
I've seen that several times in my lifetime. Just
Yeah.
looking at somebody make a total fool out of themselves, thinking that they're making themselves look better by talking down,
And
to somebody.
If I can offer some word of advice for people who've been through situations like that. So when people are taught down to, it's not a reflection of who you are. Sometimes them just a project them for them negative energy, how them think about themselves onto you. You understand me? So don't take it too personal. Just avoid them at all costs. Your space, so protect it.
Yep.
And sometimes you can't avoid them. Just make them do what them do.
Yeah.
Just talk
Don't
and
Don't let
don't.
them
Exactly.
shatter your confidence in
Yeah,
any way
just-
whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah. There is a gentleman with whom we'll speak momentarily who is a proud man of St. Mary. He's in fact the PNP Patriots vice president, and he's councillor candidate for the Gayle Division in the parish. And that's a parish where you find resorts such as beaches, Sans Souci, couples, you find James Bond Beach and so on, and even the Ian Fleming International Airport. But this council is having a problem because he sees a growing trend where attractions, though physically located in St. Mary, are being tagged as being in Ocho Rios St. Anne addresses, and he has a problem with that. I would too.
Yeah.
So we say good morning and welcome, Mr. Jouvaughnie Byfield. Good morning, Jouvaughnie. How are you doing?
Morning, Mr. Byfield.
Hey, morning. How you doing, Richie?
Not too
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Wonderful to have you on the program. I'm also joined by Shellz, who will ask you a question or two. All right?
Greetings, sir.
Morning session.
All right. So you have a problem with this matter of big popular attractions in your parish of St. Mary being tagged as if they were in Ocho Rios.
That's correct.
How big a problem is it from your perspective?
Okay. When you traverse, as you would have known, when you traverse a parish from White River into Galena, right? Most of those resorts are actually in St. Mary, and they are branded to be in Ocho Rios. I think agriculture has been what the parish has largely dependent on, and we need for the tourism sector to be recognized in St. Mary so that investors can come and explore. This will have a positive move on the economic development of the parish. I think there are other ways to market St. Mary without the Ocho Rios brand when you look at it. If I am an investor, Richie, and I'm in Miami, for example, and I see beaches Ocho Rios, when I come to Jamaica, I am asking to invest my money in Ochi because the destination to beach is Ocho Rios. There is also a person in Ocho Rios at one point driving around looking for James Bond Beach, Ocho Rios, but James Bond Beach is in Arocabessa. And to make matters worse, the recent announcement that American Airlines will have 2 flights coming into St. Mary, into Ocho Rios, per week, is like a stab in the back for residents because the airport is actually in St. Mary. And to go further, on all travel sites, the code for the airport is OCJ, which is Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Why the policymakers couldn't say SMJ, which is St. Mary, Jamaica? What I'm saying is that if we were allowed to be marketed properly, there are a lot of potential inland, because we're speaking on the corridor now, right? But you have Spanish Bridge inland, which is in Labyrinth. You have Blue Hole inland. You have Fort Aldane over in Port Maria. You have the Botanical Gardens in Castleton. You have Bluefields, right? Not Bluefields, sorry. You have over in Robbins Bay, I should say. Right? So there are a lot of potential in the parish, and we need for the parish to be highlighted for what we have and for what can be accomplished.
You're making a valid point and an important call. I mean, this seems to be all about marketing, but do you think that we could end up with suffering a kind of a fallout if we went directly using St. Mary as against the more popular Ocho Rios designation, so to speak?
One of the most, I would say, expensive resorts, which is Sandals White House. It's now Sandals South Coast. It is not being branded as being in Negril or Montego Bay.
Right.
But it still attracts a lot of tourists, right? So this notion of branding to me is nonsense. Tourists want to see Jamaica for what it is. They want to explore the authentic Jamaica and not only some part of Jamaica. Why can't we sell Jamaica as a multi-tourism destination, not just Negril, Ocho Rios? You follow our Montego Bay. Right.
Now, Mr. Byfield, just like all over the island, sadly, St. Mary has been gaining some attention, for the increase in violent crimes. Do you think this will affect your call for St. Mary being packaged and labeled as a tourist destination?
Well, I agree with you about, the increase in violence in St. Mary. And that is something that I would love. I'm appealing to the residents to desist from, because our parish is normally up there with Portland as being safe, right? But when you look at all the other tourist destinations, Negril, Montego Bay, in Central and Ocho Rios, the crime rate is higher than in St. Mary, right?
True.
So if we're saying that this will affect tourism, then it's an argument that I would rubbish.
All right.
Plain and straight.
Yeah.
Look at it this way now, Mr. Byfield. Let's say, and we know they listen to us a lot, persons from the JTB, the Ministry of Tourism, and so on,
Right.
and they're listening. So make your point so that they can hear. You have places like Orocabessa where you find James Bond Beach.
And GoldenEye.
Sorry.
And GoldenEye.
And GoldenEye. Yeah, these are popular
Yeah,
and well-known attractions internationally.
Exactly.
Are you rooting for the town's names to be promoted, or you want everything to come under the umbrella of St. Mary? Because then you now have to break it down into different towns being marketed per se. How do you see that part panning out? Yeah.
What I'm asking for is for the policymakers or the Ministry of Tourism to package that corridor. So the corridor from White River into Galena, right?
Yeah.
To package that. Not to brand it as Ultra, but to package that and sell it as being St. Mary. So whether you want to call it the St. Mary South Coast Corridor or whatever, you know, whatever name the marketing specialist can come up with, right? Because look at this, Richie. In Orchard, you have Moon Palace, you have Sandals Grand and Sandals Royal Plantation.
Yes.
Those are the only 3 hotels in Orchard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's right.
Look at this now. In St. Mary, you have Couples, you have San Susie.
Large hotels. You meant large hotels. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beaches, Boscobel. You have in Prospect those villas from Promises, all of the Prospect area there. Right? And then the airport is there now. You have Golden High, you have James Bond. So basically, the corridor, the tourism corridor is St. Mary and not Orchard. So if we're looking at who has the most attraction or resort, it is St. Mary.
Mm-hmm. I said it before. You have a valid point.
Yes, man. Better believe it.
Where do you now take your concerns beyond airing them here on the bridge and your publication of a release? What do you do next?
What we plan to do is to get a petition going, to see, if we can get some signatures to get the Ministry of Tourism to look into it and to hopefully, do what is right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Give us the proper branding and promotion that we need. Because this will not only, show St. Mary residents in a self-uplifting manner, but it also give us a chance for investors to come in and explore other areas. Like I mentioned before, I mentioned Robbins Bay. And I also mentioned Paji in the parish in Port Maria. The potential in Paji is so great in Port Maria. Mm-hmm. And you just need someone to tap into that, right? You have race course in the parish as well. It's prime for development.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, man, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm also an Eastern man from the parish of Portland.
Right.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say, while we're at it, I'm making a call for the immediate expansion or improvement work to be done on the Ken Jones airport so that we can see some airplanes landing over there and getting that tourism product going even in a bigger way. So we're just kind of piggybacking, if you know what I mean, Mr. Byfield.
Yeah, I understand. And I tell you, the residents in Chillani or in Anova will agree with me because Royalton Montego is all the way in Valmont.
That's right.
Grand Paladum is before you reach Lucy.
I'm prepared to sign that petition and join you in that call. Believe you me, very, very valid points you're making, and we endorse it 100%. Good luck going forward.
Much respect.
Every time.
Sir.
We're joined in the studio by a very, very special guest. We've been telling you about his arrival all morning long.
Big artist.
In fact, he's one of the most unique and intriguing figures in today's Jamaican reggae scene. He gained prominence back in the day as the essential selector of the reggae revival movement, headlined by acts like Protege and Chronics and so on. And now he has emerged in a very powerful way as an influential artist in his own right. And he's ready now, as is the title of one of his tracks, to answer to his calling, as is the title of another one of his tracks right now. Looking forward to the release of his upcoming album, his debut album that will be, which is to be titled Reggaeland. And we're talking about none other than Yaadcore in the building.
You know.
Right here on the bridge. Morning, Yaadcore. Bless up.
Blessings, man.
Thanks, give thanks.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
King.
I want to say the album released already, March 18.
Ah,
Nice.
recently released album.
Mystically the same day as Jamaica open up.
See
Yeah.
that?
Mystically a full moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we give thanks,
Yeah.
See that?
Does that all spell or add up to success at the early stages?
Yeah, because we watch the simple signs and watch how the stars align. And we know so we take the right steps, Yes,
Is it worldwide release or?
yeah, man, all digital platforms, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Tidal.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and we have some videos released already too.
Okay.
And some videos upcoming as well.
Yeah. Encouraging signs from, especially internationally.
Yeah, definitely. We just have forward off a US run. I wouldn't call it really a tour, but we start out with the Cali Vibes Fest in February the 6th, and then we do a few shows on the West Coast same way, and then we go Boston. We do a LP release in New York as well as Miami.
Yeah.
And now we forward back for the LP release in the Reggaeland.
Yeah.
Same in Jamaica this Friday.
This Friday.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it open to the public or select
Yeah,
guests?
man. Skyline levels. And, it's just 1,000 for enter. We're not really pressure nobody. And it's a live band performance. This will also be my first full live band performance in Jamaica. Cause, when we followed out with my first tune, Pandemic, basically forward right after, so we're there and we're ready now for showcase,
It's almost as if you believe that this was a plan and not just
Yeah, it's definitely
a natural
a plan.
occurrence.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a plan, cause when we open with Third Eye, we see the steps that they make as well, you have to can read between the lines and understand what kind of world you're living in,
Yeah. Myself and Shellz have a few more questions for you. Here's one I want to put forward. You hail from Mandeville, Manchester.
Yes.
And is it correct to say that you're from a musical background? Did other members of your family precede you in the music industry?
Yeah, well, my father did have a sound system, so I grew up around sound system, and that was really my first exposure to, Jamaican culture as it relates to music and everything,
Seeing.
Yo, alright, so first and foremost, Richie, man, for say this is an honor for there around them generally. Like, you do a tune with a brother when I consider change my life at a Richie Spice. You see me? Split for light split. You see me? Nice cool tune, a tough brother. So it's a two-part question. What was it like for you, the transition from, sound system to being an artist? That's the first question. What was that like? Was it difficult or was it come naturally? What was it like?
Well, it definitely followed naturally, and that's why it manifests, because we not really force nothing. When we start play reggae music only, them have a style where them play the rhythm version after them play the song. Seeing, so one day me there Italy now, I'm at home for Proto, and I play a song, and I play the rhythm version, and me hear the fans and say, "Yo, sing a song."
Yeah.
You see me? So that was really my first inspiration for say, yo, I want to be able to can chant some lyrics on a rhythm to enhance my DJ set. It wasn't even really to become an artist at the time, But you don't know progression, and we just follow our heart. We listen to calling, as the track say, and this is the manifestation,
As you rightfully say, you believe, because you mentioned how when you release the album, everything just seemed like it aligned. You look like a person where no matter what, you're going to do your own thing. I respect that. But I want to know, what was the reception like from fellow artists? You mentioned Proto, for example. What was the reception like when you decided to make this trad?
Well, honestly, I never get the reception that I would have expected or I would have wanted. But you don't know, we're all human beings, and we're programming a way for when we know something for something is kind of hard to accept when that thing kind of change, you know. So you really have to just show the people, say, a serious thing you deal with, and you know it must change.
See that?
You see me?
Those naysayers, would you think that by now you have won them over, so to speak, or did he even attempt to do that?
Well, you know, we definitely just do the most I works, and you know everybody is feeling good when other people receive their music on a high level. So yeah, we feel good when we put in the work now and we see the so-called naysayers. I won't call them naysayers, but we see everybody are forward round, and I respect the work ethic. I respect the sound. Most of all,
That's important.
That's the most important thing. And for me as a DJ, I would have said that's why the sound is the way it is, you know?
Yeah. I want to ask you this, Yaadcore, because we hear a lot of references being made to this reggae revival. Very often, the members that are so named have not necessarily publicly said that we are a part of a movement called the Reggae Revival. But I get the feeling to a great extent it's the public that have actually been calling it that. Was there a conscious effort to create a sort of revival in the music amongst your peers and yourselves?
Well, it definitely wasn't a conscious effort, seeing it's just natural mystic, natural progression. And how the name Reggae Revival even came about was just Dirty Bookman trying to describe the essence of what is really happening now. Now, if you're true to yourself, and even now, Jamaica still need a reggae revival because we don't have, you know, live band shows separate and apart from when the pandemic did go on. We don't have consistent live shows going on in Jamaica. We don't have live venues where a man know say, yo, a live band I play this so every weekend. You get to me? I say, so these are the things now, what was happening. Seeing you have Jamnesia happen where Protege and Jana and them are forward up, and every weekend or every other weekend the place I get rammer, more live shows start keep. So a revival was definitely happening. So that was really how the name come about, to really describe the energy that was happening at the time. So it's not necessarily calling a crew reggae revival or whatever. It's just because we are the artists or the selectors that is forwarding up in that time why we get kind as that.
Well, a change definitely took place, and we're reaping the benefits of that change even today. And it brings me to my next question, which is if you care to comment on the whole matter of the Grammy situation, where we see a soldier who are non-Jamaicans emerging as winners in the Best Reggae Album category over Jamaican-based artists. What's your view on that development?
Well, there are two sides to every story and different perspectives. You know, Soldier is a band where I do it from a long time. We have to know the criteria of the Grammy. You know, what does it take to actually win a Grammy, seeing the numbers that it take for your records to, you know, all of these votings in the Grammy committee and so forth. So what we need to do as Jamaicans is set our infrastructure that we can support our artists in a certain way that will have stature in the Grammy voting system. You get what I say? And you know, one thing I can say is that our artists have it more difficult to do the numbers because we now get certain platforms as the Soldier and the Revolution. You know what I mean? They are from there, and we benefit from them as well because the investment that they make in reggae music and the market that they build, they expose us to that as well. You understand? So it's two-way. You get to me? I say if them never do reggae music, there wouldn't be a California market for us to go and tour. You get to me? I say, so we give thanks for the ones them where invest in our culture same way and not keep it alive same way. You know, as me said, two sides to every story. There are reasons why we now get certain platform. Seeing we come from a third world country, it's harder for we even for go US.
See that?
You understand what I say? For build a certain following. You get what I say? But we can have a system in Jamaica where artists are tour the island. You understand?
To begin with, yeah.
To begin
That,
with.
yeah.
But these are the things that the government need to set infrastructure for. When people are landing at the airport in Jamaica, you're supposed to have a band, a jam some music, some reggae music.
Right, that's all.
Because when we go Bahamas or when we go Trinidad or them place there, you see the steel drum them and rare.
Yeah, man.
But we not support we own ourselves.
Yo.
Yeah.
And that is why the youth them kill off them one another because of the example that is being set. You understand?
Yes,
See
bro.
that?
Speak the truth, brethren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to go. That's perfect. Now, we'll talk about the title, the project, the Reggaeland, the album where you say out right now and that do well. Tell us a little bit more about Reggaeland. What we can expect for those who don't see it.
Alright, well the Reggaeland, is really a compilation of tracks so I kinda select out for this point in time of my journey in music. And me never really said me I gotta do an album. I was to do an EP from 2020 and the pandemic forward and we never really bother seeing, but we still did a really single, so I couldn't do an EP again. It would have all the songs upon the EP out already. So I said, alright, I have to put together a project. And the reason I do this too is also for show the people say it's a serious transition me I make and not just plan for drop some song or you understand, it's a serious journey me I deal with. And the title Reggaeland now come from the title track that I have a track on it called Reggaeland, which is, kind of saying that Jamaica is the Reggaeland scene and, we are the foundation of reggae music, no matter who be inspired by it or anything.
True.
Yeah.
See it. Yeah,
That's a timely and topical track right now. We're gonna play it in a short while from
Yes,
now.
I
Yeah, man. The name itself now, persons need to know it is spelled Yaadcore. Take us to the genesis of that name, Yaadcore.
Alright. You want to know, say, is a t-shirt brand me and my brethren did have name Yaadcore, and we did have a sound name Borderline first, and we did have to change the name due to certain vibration. And, say, we have the merchandise for the shirt them and them thief out the whole of the merchandise out of my trunk one day. So Yaadcore actually did that on pause at the time when we were looking for a name for the sound. So I said, alright, I could just call the sound Yaadcore. At the time I was DJ Rory and Rory Yaadcore I got be my name, see? And then when we start getting more popular now, people start asking me if me and Rory from Stone Love. You see me? Someone just say, say I mean name Yaadcore though. Yeah, because even as myself when I met the transition for play straight reggae music, me did have an MC and him never really dep on that transition there. So me did have to start MC for myself, same way, So
Well, you're a multifaceted individual in the space. You were even telling us about the song "Thank You," which was your first production.
Yes.
Which was Kabaka Pyramid and
Shani Murray.
Yeah. So you're a record producer, you're a writer, you're an artist, you're a selector.
Yes.
And many other things I'm sure that will come along the way as you move through this on this journey. Yaadcore, we're proud of what you're doing, keeping the culture alive. If I should ask you where you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years, what would you say?
Well, once me have life, health and strength, where I go be able to do the same thing where I do now to a higher level.
Yeah.
You understand? Where I go have businesses open, and we just everything is just growth,
Yeah.
That's what I try to do, just always keep growing,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'll definitely support you along your journey. It's time for us to make that connection with DJ Roy and the Irie Jam family in New York City. And we want to say first off, good morning, Roy.
Morning.
Morning.
What's up, boss? How you doing?
You can see I had my cereal this morning, right?
Yeah, we're at the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The situation
Now,
with.
I was saying.
Yes, go ahead, Roy.
No, I was saying before we connected that I don't know if you have a dog in this fight because, as you know, I'm from Frankfield, which means I'm representing Edwin Allen, and I'm also from Zadie Garden, so I'm representing Calabar. I don't know if you have a dog in this champs fight, but those are the two schools that I'm going with.
I was very happy last night, and this is before Shellz or Audley chip in, but I was very happy to see my school represented in one of the heats.
Nice.
Titchfield High School. I saw a young lady there in the 100-meter heats, at least representing.
Shellz.
What's happening?
Shellz, you notice he said one of the meets,
That's
not
nothing.
the whole meeting.
Hey, that's good. It's a start. It is a start.
Yeah.
Big up Titchfield.
Thank you, sir.
Now
We
you were saying,
appreciate
Richie,
that.
before I interrupt you.
Almost rudely. But you're forgiven. If you allow Shellz, he'll talk about in this segment for the entire
No,
segment.
sir, I just have one line.
One line. Let's hear it.
Fortis cedere non potest. Don't talk. Enough said. The brave may fall but never yield, for those who don't know.
I wonder if you're going to repeat
and
that.
Dubmaster Chris, I cannot take the tour. No.
See that?
You and Dubmaster Chris.
see my mic? You know, see my
can't
talkaphone?
take the tour, no.
Talkaphone purple, everything.
Come on,
It's all good.
phone go purple, Roy. So you don't
It's
take
all
it
good.
serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
But oddly, you're silent on the issue.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, I'm just on the sideline watching. when it is all
There's never
over
dog
and
in this
done with,
fight.
I will tell you how this thing works.
No, right, sir.
See me?
Good luck to the young athletes.
Yeah,
though.
man,
We're seeing
definitely.
some really, really good times.
Definitely.
And the fact that they would not, in many instances, they were not even able to train as well as they would have wanted to, and for them to come out looking so good yesterday, I'm quite encouraged, and I want to wish them all the best. I hope that there'll be no injuries and that they'll be able to just give their best.
Yeah.
Because the future looks really, really good.
For real.
A few quick notes out of Jamaica, DJ Roy. Lisa Hanna, who is from the People's National Party, she has now tabled a motion in Parliament, basically, and she's putting forward the argument that Bob Marley should now be named national hero. And so that is a development that a number of persons here would have been hoping for. So we'll see how that one goes going forward. As far as Yaadcore is concerned, we're understanding now that the prosecutors over there they're actually calling for they're about to go forward with an appeal, and they're saying they're appealing against his acquittal for attempted murder, which in summary means they want him to get more than the 6 years behind bars. So that's not a good look for Yaadcore. If they were to be successful, he could be ending up with more than 6 years behind bars. And as DJ Roy mentioned earlier, the matter of Soulja's victory at the Grammys, we see more and more artists are actually coming out and publicly saying, "Hey, we are A-OK. We're satisfied with the result, and we have no problems with Soulja's victory." Names like Chronix, Itana, Gramps Morgan, Bling Dog. We've heard people like Deli Ranks, and this morning our guest in the studio was Yaadcore, and he was also not having a difficulty with it either.
The man just say, yo, look, it's about appreciation of the music and understanding the music and learning to take it, to every corner of the globe. So, yeah, and that's what Soulja's been doing. So we can't fight them.
Music is global.
Disappointed, but we can't. Disappointed. Everybody had their favorites in the race, but you can't fight them because they also had people that had them as their favorites.
See that?
And we're prepared to vote for them. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
One of the points that Yaadcore made, which is also quite poignant, is the fact that they have a platform, and they, like many of those bands out of California, for instance, they have opened up a platform for many of our artists to be able to go there and do well based on the embrace of reggae music, especially in that part of the United States. So that was another perspective that we were getting.
Yep.
Jody has rejoined us.
Hey, Jojo. Hi, guys.
And a lot happened since you were last here. Lots of excitement. And it all adds to the flavor of the morning, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does.
And so we give thanks for life.
Big tune, Jody.
It's a big tune, Jody.
So, Jody, I didn't remember that you were born in September.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, nobody's going to play my Earth, Wind, and Fire selection.
Psych.
Only to find out that you're actually September born and you went for the same song that I had.
Yes, man. September girl here.
Yeah.
Remember?
It's okay. Privileges, going first.
Yes. Right?
She always uses against us, Think
Yeah,
she's slick.
trust me.
I sit right here. Who
No,
else
no.
would go first?
We're not complaining.
It
But
just
that's a
makes
set.
sense.
It's
I
okay.
wonder what would happen if the tables turned.
I would
Dad.
still, I would
Yeah,
still,
shuffle up.
I would go even harder.
What's the table, sir?
You get the feeling that there's some degree of collaboration going on between some members
I
of the
get the
team.
feeling that there is some collaboration happening behind the scene, Richie, and some of us.
I'm wondering. We're
You
not
know.
calling no names, but we're kind of wondering.
Listen, hold on.
Is it
what
mere?
y'all
is it
trying to
mere?
say?
Is it mere conversation or consultation?
I think it's
That's what
consultation,
I
it's
wanna
not
know.
conversation.
Really?
I
Hold on.
feel so.
In other words, we feel that them a plan for it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Early in the morning.
One not Travis said we had team up and a scheme up. Hey,
Are you Cesar now, eh?
listen to me.
No, we never said
Listen,
that.
it is pretty simple. When you're a musicologist, I came in this morning.
Wow.
I came in this morning and I told Richie, we had consultation.
Okay.
And I said to Richie, I bet you any money Jody's going to play September.
That was the full extent of the conversation.
That was the full
That's,
extent.
okay, that's
all
your
right.
story and you're sticking
You want to
to
know
it.
what? All right. All right. You want to know what? There's a song I mentioned and we were busting our brain. We were trying to remember a song called July.
Oh.
Well, but I know that's
Okay.
not
So obviously, evident a consultation.
Exactly.
I understand your drift.
We just couldn't remember
Okay.
who was the artist.
No worries.
Okay.
What a morning it's been.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
It's almost time for
Good
us to say
morning.
bye-bye. Tone of Rebel should be anywhere close to us now
Yeah.
Yes.
in terms of getting into the studio because he'll be on with
Rasperians.
Rasperians momentarily. But for this morning, we thank our guests.
Yes, we want to say thank you so much. It's always nice to have guests here, So Jouvaughnie, Byfield, PNP Patriots Vice President and Councillor candidate for Gayle Division, stopped by and made some interesting comments. I didn't know, you see, if that conversation did not come, I would not have known that. Oh, it's not Ochi,
not
because I
Ochi.
genuinely
Yeah, see
thought that it was. You see, when you're not doing your own, whatever is being said to you, you're like,
Yes,
these
yeah.
people are not going to
Just
tell you the
gotta
wrong,
work-
give
just
you
gotta
the wrong
work with it.
information.
Yeah.
You're just going to work with it. So hearing that, we
we need
definitely need to look
conversation.
into that.
Yeah.
Man wants St. Mary name for Carl.
And as it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then we had Yaadcore at 8 a.m. Big up yourself, Yaadcore.
Yeah,
Reggae.
man.
Reggae, as usual. Authentic reggae. I love Yaadcore. Very cool person. Music nice. So big up yourself.
And he mentioned that this Friday he'll be doing a live
launch,
LP
yeah.
launch
Oh,
at
yes.
Skyline.
Skyline.
So
Right,
check it
right.
out, man.
Yeah, man.
Peeps.
So
That's for the album Reggaeland. And,
Yeah.
from what
Right.
we've heard, it sounds like a really good package.
Yeah.
Global Connection, of course, featured DJ Roy. We also took the time to surprise Red over there at Flow 98.7 on her
Red.
birthday today.
Yeah.
And we'll get a chance to have her with us in the Canadian Connection
on
on
Friday.
Friday morning
right.
for sure.
So we hear what happened.
All right, our life quote of the day, which I'll take today. Life has got all those twists and turns. You've got to hold on tight, and off you go.
That's right.
On that note, we say thank you, guys. It was
Yeah,
a
man.
pleasure, and we wish you all, as well as our listeners, without whom we could not do this, we wish you all a wonderful day.